Up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's the Otumba Adams Show. You guys are welcome to another episode of the Otumba Adams Show. My name is Adam Silwafimilajide, and this is the 170th episode. Today being the 3rd of September 2022. It's a pleasure having you guys here today, and I am glad to see another day. Finally, we get to see some sun after a very long time, right? It's sunny today. It's actually been raining for some months now, and literally all the days I come to do the broadcast, it's either raining or it's kind of wet for that day. Anyway, today is another Saturday, and if you are in Nigeria, you know what it is. It is another Owambe weekend. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself, or you guys that will probably be watching this later on are having fun wherever you are right now. All right, so if this is the first time, or if this is your first time rather, of being a part of the show, and you're probably wondering what is this whole thing about, we're talking about business majorly, right? And every other thing that can actually help you to grow in your entrepreneurial journey. And as you know, my name is Adam Solofimi Olajide. On this episode, or is it in this episode? In this episode, yeah, that's the right word. We'll be looking at business lessons from superheroes and villains. I don't know about you, but I, for one, love to watch superhero movies. I've watched Batman, Superman, Iron Man, and Wonder Woman, and the likes, right? There are tons of them, tons of superhero movies out there. And sometimes they even create movies for the villains themselves. And it's actually interesting getting to watch them. So on today's episode, I am actually trying to I am going to be taking a look rather at some of these superheroes and some of these villains and how I can relate it to the entrepreneurial space. All right. So sit back, relax. I'm going to be bringing my notes up on the screen right now. Just a second. Let me quickly get some of the things I wrote out. All right, let me share my screen for you guys to see. Voila. All right, so just a sec, and I would have this on full screen mode. Okay, so the first superhero I'll be looking at is Superman. Everybody knows Superman as the Man of Steel, and you know that he literally is impenetrable. He is very strong. He is very fast. He flies. However, he also has a weakness which makes him very, very humble. If you are conversant with the movie, rather, you would know that the kryptonite is his weakness. It's one of the stones, or one of the stones from his homeland, Krypton, and it weakens him. It takes away all his superpowers. Now, the same way when it comes to business, you have to realize that you would have your strengths and you would have your weaknesses, right? Let your strength make you shine. However, let your weaknesses humble you, just the same way it humbles this young gentleman here, right? Because you should not assume that you know it all. There would always be something that you are not that good at. Rather than trying to make other people feel like you are the all in all when it comes to business, right? Your weaknesses, try to outsource those things so people know your weakness. Be humble enough to tell somebody else hey, I am not good at this. Can you help me out with it? Superman also knows his vulnerability. He knows that this particular thing makes him weak, and he tries as much as possible to stay away from that thing that makes him weak. And it doesn't make him proud, because he knows that there's the human part of him, or the thing that actually makes him a human being. All right. And number 2 on the list is okay, I'm supposed to click on my screen, is the Batman. Now, out of all these superheroes that I'll be listing here today, Batman is the only person that does not have a special power, in quote, right? However, Batman, who is also known as Bruce Wayne, right, has 3 things that have actually been working for him, which is his intellect. Batman is very, very intelligent. his fighting skills, and also his wealth. Now, one thing you need to realize when it comes to business is this: that like you may not have what the top guns have. However, you would always have something that would always be able to set you apart. So you need to ask and look within and ask yourself that like, what have I been gifted with that even though I don't have what every other person has, but with this gift of mine, I can actually shine. I can actually put it into my business using what I have to get what I need on the long run. All right. So you have to like ask yourself that like, what have I been gifted with? And then make use of those things. It is not all the time that like you have to complain that things are not going in your favor. Check what you have in your hands. All right. Make use of it, develop it. And before you know it, you would be as powerful as the top guns out there. All right. Start from where you are, know what you're good at, then grow from there. All right. So that's number two superhero. Number three is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, also known as Princess Diana of Themyscira, is an Amazon slash goddess, according to the movie. If you are used to watching Wonder Woman, very very interesting movie, and she's one of the most powerful superheroes out there, even as powerful as Superman. But there's something that actually sets her apart, which is her intentions are always for the greater good. So, in your business, in your life, ask yourself, what are you doing? So, what you're doing right now, is it for the greater good? If it is not for the greater good, then you need to be able to like check yourself and ask yourself that like, why am I actually into this thing? Am I doing this business because I am trying to help people out, or am I doing it because of my selfish interest? I just want to have all the money, make money, not caring if it actually adds value to people. You're in business because you want to add value to people, and as such, the greater good, the bigger picture should be at the back of your mind. You want to transform people's lives. You want to take them from point A to point B, and that should always be your driving force. The money itself would come when you give value to people. But if you're just chasing after money, at some point, people would actually see you for who you are, and then they would leave you. They would move away from you because they realize that, like, hey, you are not the person that they feel you ought to be. All right, so that's number, I think this should be number three, right? Yeah, that's number three. Number four, which is going to be our first villain, is the Joker. Everybody knows the Joker. We know that like the Joker literally is Batman's number one enemy, right? He always comes up with something that gets to like annoy Batman, like, you know, like literally. Even looking at him already, you know that like this dude is like he has Dangbana Choco in his head. However, there's something about Batman, sorry, Joker rather, that sets him apart, which is he loves what he does. He's literally in love with his evil mastermind, right? The same way in your own business, I'm going to ask you, do you love what you're doing? Or you're just doing it because you do not have any other option? Or probably like you are the type that is like, I just want to make ends meet. If you love what you do, people would fall in love with your product, because when they see you talk about what you're doing, they would see the passion exuding from you, and they would, on the long run, fall in love with what you're trying to sell to them. So you need to learn to love what you're doing as an entrepreneur. It has come from the bum of your heart. All right. So you need to learn to love what you're doing. Moving on to the next person, which is T'Challa, also known as the Black Panther. One of the things that like sets him apart is the fact that like he leverages on the latest technology. And how does he leverage on the latest technology? It is through his sister Shuri, who creates the latest technology for him to make use of. And we can see from his body suits that can absorb other people's energy, and then like he can then transmit it out in a powerful way, right? So also in your business, are you still using the old technology to do business, or are you leveraging on the latest technology? If you are still in the past using what people have left behind, you would realize that like your business will become obsolete on the long run. However, if you leverage on the latest technology, you would be able to realize that like your business would start to grow, right? Gone are the days that like people used to use newspapers to actually like sell advertisement. But now you have to ask yourself, how many people actually use newspapers these days? How many people read the newspapers these days? Like would go to a vendor and then buy. Everybody is on their phones these days, meaning that like if you want to advertise to more people, then you have to consider digital advertisement. There are a lot of things that like technology has brought to us today. The one I just said is just one example. And if you do not scale up, right? If you do not use the right technology for your products, for your business, you would only be left behind on the long run. All right. So make sure that like you leverage on the latest technology for your business so that you'll be able to make enough profit. The next person, which is the second supervillain that I have for today, is Thanos. Everybody knows who Thanos is. Thanos is from Titan, the galaxy or the world called Titan, and his major objective is to bring stability to the whole universe by what's the word by annihilating half of the creatures in the universe. All right, that was his sole aim. And if you watch Avengers games, you realize that like he was actually able to achieve his dreams, even though he went through a lot of things to be able to do it. Now, I'm not trying to say that like you should do anything bad. However, this should be a pointer that like you should never give up on your dream if you have a dream that you would like to achieve. Always press forward till you get to that point that like your dream becomes reality. There would always be stumbling blocks. There will be always be things that like would make you feel as if why am I even doing this thing? Why don't I just give up? All right, but push hard till you get to your final destination. And I can assure you that like by the time you get there, you'll be proud of yourself that like you are actually able to do that thing that you set out to do. Last year, I set out to do 100 episodes, and I was able to ace that dream. This year, we are doing another 100 episodes, and today makes it the 70th episode for this year, and I have just 30 episodes to go. Like, can you imagine? I could as well have just said that, like, one day I'm going to do this thing, but here I am. I am actually doing this right now. All right. So, whatever your dreams is make sure you push it and then see it through. And then finally, we all know Spider-Man, which is played by Peter Parker. Peter Parker is a teenager that was bitten by a spider in one of the Transcore laboratory, and he became who he is. And his mantra, which his uncle gave to him, with great power comes a greater responsibility, is something that like each and every one of us should be able to like realize, especially when as we grow in our businesses, right? As more power comes to you, make sure that like you are as responsible as can be. Do not be the people that you once chastised, the people that like you felt that like they were actually trampling on the poor. Don't be those people. Take up responsibilities, grow yourself, grow your team, and be responsible for everything that you do. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now, and let me escape this. Okay, okay. So these are the points that I actually have for today, and I am sure that like with these points that I've actually given to you, you have been able to learn something tangible. I think I actually did about six or seven thereabout. I'm not even sure right now. Yeah, I think it's actually about seven superheroes and supervillains that I did today. And before I leave, please make sure that like you like, subscribe, and share with your loved ones. I'm sure that like you are gaining something tangible from this series, and I would see you again on Wednesday. And lastly, as I always say, be the best version God has created you to be. From myself, Adam Silva from your large day. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.